Alright, so this video will focus on 8.2. And the first thing we're going to do is go and look for the perimeter and circumference of the figures described. Of course, if we're doing the circumference, it has to do with something with a circle, and if it has a perimeter, it's probably going to be some sort of shape that's like a square or rectangle or something, or triangle perhaps. So look here with a square with a side length of 4, that's 4 times 4, right? Which is 16. A rectangle with a length of 5 and width of 3.5. I would double both of these so I could add them up. I get 8.5 times 2 is 17. This one here is 19 and 7. I'll add those two together. I get 26 times 2 is 52. I have a triangle where I'll add these 3 points together and I'll have 25. With the circle, with the radius, I know that the perimeter is 2 times radius pi. So in this case, the radius is 9, so it would be 2 times 9, which is 18 pi, or about 56.52. And if the circle has a diameter of 20, I have to think of what half of that is. So the radius, which is 10. So it'll be 2 times 10, which is 20, times pi. So right around 62.8. So what we want to do today is figure out how you can find the perimeter of composite figures, meaning figures that are not necessarily one shape, but maybe a combination of shapes. What we're going to do here is look at this right here, and I have these two various areas. I have this one here, which is 74 by 70, and if I want to figure out the whole area of this entire, or perimeter, I'm sorry, of this, I would add up all 4 sides. Then I have this one here, which is kind of a stranger shape, and my question is, if I would put these two things together, these two fencing pieces, and I have this new shape here, does it require more or less fencing than these two individual ones? And the answer is it requires less. And the reason why it requires less is because of the fact that I don't have this middle piece coming down, the 70 here or the 70 here. They're no longer here, right? There's nothing splitting the two up. So it says how much would it be for constructing rectangular of the trapezoid coral as shown. So if I would add these two together, you get 556 yards altogether. This one here says find the perimeter of the arrow. Well, it's basically, if I look at this arrow, it's a combination of this shape here and this shape here. If I put these two together, so really it would be 7 plus 16, which is 23, and it's going to be 2 of those, right? So I'm going to have 7, 16. Let's just do it over here. So this would be 7, 16, 7, 16, 7, 16, right? So that's what I will have, and altogether when I look at it, that's 60 centimeters. So what we're going to do now is figure out the different perimeter here of these various shapes, and I can go through and add all these up, and then add down here, and so on. And when I add the perimeter, remember that means the distance around. So this here is 24 units. This is 24 units. This here is 15, and the reason why we have 15 is because if you think about it, each one of these is like 1.5, well, not quite 1.5, I guess. But if I would add this up, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I have 7, 8, and then if I look here, it's like about 3.5. Yeah, about 3.5, and this is also 3.5, so that would be 15. This one here, if I just go to this area, let's draw this out here for a second. If I just draw right to here, if I scroll down, this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I have 9 so far. And then I have to find out the perimeter, or the distance around here, and this is going to be equal to 1.5. So I'll take 1.5 times 1.5 squared. And when I do all that, I'm going to have about 13.71. For this one here, I have a triangle, so I'm going to go around, and basically what I can do is I can think about what the perimeter is. I wonder if I can do that. Let's just try it. So if I go here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then I have to go down here. Each one is about 1.5. So that's 1.5, 3, 1.5, 3. So that's 6 altogether. 1.5, 3, so 9. So 21-ish. So 20.5. And then this one here, I have to count all the way around. And remember, I'm also counting this right here. So altogether, it's about 22.28. So I want to figure out the perimeter of this arrow. And again, I'm going to figure out each one of these is about 1.5 diagonally. So I have 1.5, 3, 1.53, so this is a total of 6, right? This is 6, this is 2, and this is 2. So far I have 6 plus 6 plus 2 plus 2, and that's just this up here. So let's go around here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have another 6 and 6, and then I have to go up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice all that I did for this is I just broke it into various shapes, right? I kind of figured out what this is equal to. I found out what this is equal to, and I added them together. And when I add all this together, I should get, well, 4 times 6 is 24, 26, 28-ish. Let's see what I have. And we said 32, so let's see where I went wrong. So if I go here, and again, this is 3, so 6, so that's 12, that's the top two. 1, 2, 1, 2, so I got my 2 and 2. And then I have my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And then I forgot this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh man. So I forgot the one more 4. So plus 4. And that's how I get 32. So really the strategy here is just to break it up into smaller shapes and figure out the perimeter, or in some cases we'll say the area. So estimate the perimeter, do the same thing we did before, try figuring out for this one. And here's the answers for those. All right, so let's take a look at this one here. Now I'm really breaking this up, this shape into 3 different pieces. So I have my thing here, which is 8, my side length. I have another side length, which is 6. And now I got to figure out what this whole thing is equal to over here. Now I know the circumference of this area. To figure out circumference is diameter times pi. And I do have my diameter, which is 10, right? But I only have half of it, so I'm going to say divided by 2. So if I look here, if I take 10 pi divided by 2, that's only 5 pi, right? And 5 pi is like 15-ish, which is 15.7, plus the 8 plus 6, which is 14, so altogether equals 27.9. All right, so let's try doing this one here, figuring it out. So pause the video and try to figure out what you get here. Again, remember this is half the semicircle, right? So take your diameter times pi divided by 2. And then this one here, I have the same thing, although I really have one full circle, don't I? Right here. And this is the very last one to figure out. Now, to figure out ones like this, just so you know, if I know for a fact that this is 14, I know that this is 4, that means the entire bottom is equal to 18, right? Let's just write these things out so I don't forget. This is 18. This is 12.5, and if this is 4, that means that this is 8.5, right? And now let's break it into smaller shapes here. So like from here, if I want to find the perimeter, I have 4 plus 14. If I do 4 plus 14, I'll have 4, 14, 12.5, 18, 8.5, and then 5.5. And that would take me from here, that's the 4, 14, 12.5, 18, 8.5, 5.5, and right back here again. When I add them all up, I should get 64, which is what this adds up to. And that's really the video for today.